States of America. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty.
All right, next item on our agenda is public comments. Before we start, just a few advisories, because I don't know, we have some public hearings going on later on the agenda. Public comments is just for general comments that anyone comes to present to the council. There are a few rules of decorum that we request from each one. We ask that the speaker come to our podium or desk and give your name and address. We ask the speaker to conduct themselves in a professional and respectful manner. We ask that all remarks be directed to the mayor and not to individuals, council members, staff, or citizens in attendance. The speaker at no time will be allowed to defame, intimidate, make personal affronts, use profanity, or make threats of violence. And the speaker will have up to 3 minutes to speak. Audience members are expected to not to be shouting or unruly behavior, distracting side conversations, clapping, or speaking out when another person is talking. No defamation, intimidation, personal affronts, profanity, or threats of violence, and no behavior that disrupts the orderly conduct of our meeting. At this time, is there anyone present who would like to present public comments? Yes, sir.
So you're talking about up here?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I just wanted some clarification on what the difference was between the public comments and what was coming later. So,
Public comments could be any subject, topic that anybody wants to speak to. Public hearing will be specific to the item on the agenda that is at that time. And we will clarify what those items are when we get to them. Okay. Anyone? Special guests tonight and some things that we want to celebrate. So give me just a moment to walk around. First of all, where's she? There, is he here? Not here. Okay. All right. All right. We're going to introduce our new SRO, but he had an emergency, so we'll do that at a later time. Next is the recognition of the Georgia Recreation and Parks Association, otherwise known as GRPA, District 4, Class C award recipients for Temple's Recreation. Roscoe, please come forward. Jayla. Number 2, the 2025 Outstanding. Athletics, the red. So that was number 3, right? Number 4. 2025 Outstanding Special Events in Programming, Healing with Heroes. Number 5, 2025 Class C Agency of the Year, Temple Rec Department. And finally, but certainly not the least of the awards that were received that evening down on St. Simon's Island or Jekyll Island. Recognition of the Georgia Recreation and Parks Association State Award recipient for a city of less than 10,000 population, the City of Temple Recreation Department. Hold it carefully.
Trying to get the timer.
All right. Now, next on our agenda is approval of the agenda, and we do have some amendments to request your permission to add. We have a request by Seth Brown with DBA Holdings LLC on a variance to encroach upon the 50-foot buffer to build a single-family 0070193, land lot 181, District 6. If you approve, that would become hearing on the request for a variance made by Seth Brown with DBA Holdings LLC, followed by consideration by the council to approve or
That would be
Reject.
14 and 15, correct?
that would be
13, 14.
13 is going to be 17 after the amendments if you approve.
We
So
have
we're in-
13 already.
I know, we're inserting these before 13 that's currently. Request by Seth Brown of DBA Holdings on lot number 69, 140-0199, land lot 181, District 6. And that would be number 4 for a variance made by Seth Brown with DBA Holdings LLC. And that completes the requested amendment.
Okay. Make a motion, we approve the agenda.
Why didn't these go to the planning and zoning?
They-
or-
Motion by Mr. Bracknell, seconded by Ms. Miller. Any discussion? All in favor of approving the agenda with the amendments as noted. Next on our agenda is the approval of minutes from the November 3rd, 2025 City Council. All right, motion by Mr. Walden, seconded by Mr. Bracknell. Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same sign.
Abstain.
Okay. Motion carried. On the agenda is announcements. Ms. Jacobson.
I do not have any.
I would like to remind everyone of Thursday, December 4th. We will have our annual Christmas parade and festival here in the city of Temple. The parade will begin at 5 p.m. Organization will start about 4 over in the Temple Elementary area of our city. So I would encourage folks, motorists, to avoid Sage Street, for certain before 4:30. Avoid it after that if you can. And if you're going to line up in the parade, go by way of Old Bremen Road to the Temple Elementary School campus and Otis Street. And then we'll come up out of Otis Street and along Sage Street and go south and end at the Temple High School after we pass through downtown and so forth. So that'll be Thursday afternoon after the parade. We'll get ourselves back up to the library area where we will have a festival. We'll have choruses from our schools coming to sing Christmas carols and that thing, and we'll also have other music to enjoy. And then we'll have Santa Claus for the children of all ages, whatever your number is. And then we'll also have the lighting of the tree that's already up there in front of the library. And my grands keep asking, when are we going to turn the lights on? And so that will take place Thursday evening, and we invite everyone to come and enjoy the celebration. Last year was rather chilly, so we encourage warm clothes. And looking at the forecast, it appears that it will be dry, but however, the temperature seems it's going to be dropping from the upper 40s for the high down to the upper 30s, maybe as we are there. But maybe we'll get done before it gets down to the 30s. But nevertheless, it's December in Georgia, and you can either be shivering or you can be sweating like you're in a sweat box. You just never know. Anything else? All right. Next up is our consent agenda. We have 4 items. First of all, council, is anyone who would like to request the removal of any of these items from the consent agenda?
Do have one question on item 4. Did we get the legal review on that?
We have not. That's why it's pending legal review.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, item 1, select and authorize Pro Designs to install a fence opposite the pharmacy on Sage Street for the Sage Street beautification project in the amount of $13,920 with funding from the general, what is that, GL?
General ledger.
General Ledger Beautification Fund. And I might add that this is to not only enhance the area, but it's also prevent motorists from parking there, driving off into the low place that nobody wants to get their car in. So that's going to serve multiple purposes. Item 2, approved for fiscal year 2026, A, 2% cost of living increase effect with the first pay period in January of 2026 for all full-time City of Temple employees who have completed their initial probationary employment period. And B, merit increases up to 3% for full-time employees at the time of their annual evaluation. Item 3, authorize up to 3% matches for employee retirement benefits beginning January 1, 2026. The city already contributes 1.5% to employees' retirement, and this matches what an employee contributes up to 3%. And then item 4, authorize the mayor to sign the MOU, which stands for
Memorandum of Understanding.
Memorandum of Understanding for the Recreation Department to partner with the Adel Foundation Food Insecurity Prevention Program pending legal review. So that is our consent agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I make a motion we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All right, motion by Mr. Brightnell, seconded by Ms. Bowles. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same sign. Motion carries 5-0. All right, next is our new business. Item 1, the purpose of the second public hearing on the proposed 2026 operating budgets. Ms. Jacobson.
Yes. Sorry, pages here. Sorry. Budget stuff pulled together. Okay. Sorry, I didn't have my tab open. Okay. The second public hearing on proposed 2026 operating fund budget. So the purpose, Article 6 in the Temple City Charter is titled Finance. Section 6-16 sets forth the submission of operating budget to City Council. Not later than 45 days prior to the start of the new fiscal year, the city administrator shall submit to the City Council a proposed operating budget. For the City of Temple, a significant part of its budget development process consists of reviews and discussions involving this local government's elected officials, the appropriate department director or directors, the city administrator's office, and the city's finance accountant and financial consultant. The outcome of this process was the draft operating budget as presented for the first public hearing held on November 17th. From this public hearing, no changes were made, which yields the final proposed fiscal year 2026 operating budget for the general fund and water fund operating budgets as presented at the second public hearing on December 1st, 2025. Any comments that may be presented will be reviewed, followed by a final recommendation and action by the City Council. Section 6-17 sets forth the action by the City Council on budget. As part of its deliberative process, the City Council can amend the operating budget proposed by the City Administrator. The budget adopted by the City Council must include expenditures required by state law or the City Charter, as well as all debt service requirements. Additionally, the City Council's action must result in the adoption of a balanced annual general fund operating budget. The general fund operating budget as presented is indeed a balanced budget. It is expected that the City of Temple's annual operating budget will be adopted tonight during this meeting of the City Council, though there is a provision in the City of Temple's charter that allows this local government to continue operating on a month-by-month basis for a maximum of 6 months. However, this is for extenuating circumstances only and is not the best method of practice. At this time, I will report on the proposed 26 operating budget. Then following these reports, there will be an opportunity for comments from members of the public and the City of Temple elected officials.
All right, thank you. Number 2, presentation of the proposed 2026 fiscal year operating fund budgets. Ms. Jacobson.
Yes. Okay, let's this is the one I wanted. Okay. The general fund budget expenditures for the 2026 is a total of $6,535,524. The general fund, that's the expenditures, and the revenues are in the same amount, that making it a balanced budget of $6,535,524. The water fund budget, the other operating enterprise fund, revenues are $5,491,450, with the expenditures for the 26 enterprise fund budget of $5,125,999.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we have an opportunity during this public hearing for public comments in regard to these two budgets, the general fund budget and the water and sewer operating budget. Is there anyone who would like to give comments? All right, and seeing no indication by that, we'll go to next item 4, comments by elected officials. All right, then we will move to item 5, which is to have the purpose of the second public hearing on the proposed 2026 capital budget. Ms. Jacobson.
Article 6 in the Temple City Charter is titled Finance. Section 6-20 is identified with the heading of Capital Budget and states that on an annual basis, at least 6 calendar days before the start of the City of Temple's new fiscal year, which is the calendar year, the city administrator is required to submit to the mayor and city council a proposed capital improvements plan. This plan includes a recommended capital budget that identifies the means of financing the proposed capital improvements to be implemented in the ensuing fiscal year. During the regular monthly series of city council committee meetings on October 27th, the proposed fiscal year 2026 capital budget was presented to the mayor and city council during the Finance and Administration Committee segment. Since this initial presentation of the proposed 26 capital budget, Temple's elected officials have reviewed and discussed the proposed capital projects. The 2026 proposed capital projects, as presented in this public hearing, are the projects being considered for implementation during fiscal year 26. While staff members are responsible for proposing various capital projects and the overall capital budget, the City Council is the body that decides which projects are included in the adopted annual capital fund budget. Section 6-20 of Article 6 of the Temple City Charter calls for the City Council in December to adopt by ordinance the new annual capital budget. Therefore, following the second public hearing tonight, December 1st at 6:30 p.m., it is expected that the 26th capital fund budget will be adopted during the City Council's regular monthly meeting. In conclusion, it should be noted that the adoption of the new fiscal year 26 capital fund budget does not affect previous fiscal year's budgeted capital projects, which have not been completed. Those projects continue until they are completed or discontinued. At this time, I'll report on the proposed 26 capital fund budget. Then there will be an opportunity for comments from members of the public, followed by those from the City of Temple's elected officials.
All right, go ahead with the presentation, please.
Okay. The capital budget for 2026 total is $2,479,500, with administration having a total of $114,000, Senior Center, $70,000, Recreation, $200,000, Public Works and Water, $1,001,000, Public Safety, $234,500, Sewer, $540,000, and Economic Development, $320,000, to give us a total of $2,479,500.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we allow for anyone in the public to come and share your thoughts on the proposed budget for the 2026 fiscal year capital improvements. All right, seeing no indication of that desire, then we will move to the next item, which will be time for comments by elected officials. Hearing none, then we move to item 9, approve an ordinance to adopt the City of Temple's 2026 fiscal year general fund operating budget.
I make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Brightnell, seconded by Ms. Miller. Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 10, approve an ordinance to adopt the City of Temple's 2026 fiscal year water fund operating budget.
Make a motion. We approve.
Second.
Adopt.
Motion by Ms. Miller, seconded by Ms. Bowles. Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 11, approve an ordinance to adopt the City of Temple's 2026 fiscal year capital improvements fund budget.
Make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Brightnell, seconded by Mr. Walden. Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, the same sign. Motion carries 5-0. All right. That will bring us to item 12, public hearing on the rezoning and annexation request by Billy Jack Bell with ISG Inc. on parcel number 0117-0039B, 48.03 acres on U.S. Highway 78 in Haralson County. This property is currently zoned county unincorporated, District 1, and the request is to rezone it to light industrial and annex into the City of Temple to accommodate an industrial park. The Planning Commission tabled this item to the December 16 Planning Commission meeting. However, the second public hearing was legally advertised for this meeting, so we're going forward. At the end, you'll see the agenda does not include any action item on this, so this will be to receive information for the application by the applicant and anyone else in favor of it, and then information from those who would object. We do request that the application and the in favor comments be no longer than 15 minutes total, and then those who are against this item, total minutes for you to speak, whether that be one person, multiple persons, y'all can determine how you want to go about that, but we will have a timer to display, giving you the update on how much time remains. So with that said, is the applicant present? And would you like to come forward and share?
Yes, Billy Jack Bell, Industrial Solutions Group, 3655 Randall Mill, Atlanta, Georgia. I'm here to present on the rezoning of the 40 acres on Highway 78. I appreciate everybody being here, and some of these faces are very familiar. And so it is not lost on me that everyone is here because they are neighbors that are invested in this community, which is, to me, super important. I don't like working in places where people don't care, because that means prospects, tenants, businesses will reflect that as well. So the reason for the annexation and rezoning is for light industrial. The 48 acres to me is a wonderful opportunity. It's easy to look at things and point out small negatives. We all do that. I can do it every time I look in the mirror. I can look at some things that I find negative. I have relationships with my wife and my kids, and not all those are positive, but the good outweighs the bad every time. And I think that's important to look at. So these are the parks that we've done successfully, and I know that this presentation has been in front of y'all numerous times, but these projects are all over Georgia. They are light industrial, not heavy industrial. They're not smokestacks. They're not a lot of outside storage. These are to attract top-end businesses, which I think will fit very well Currently, the property is in unincorporated Haralson County. We're in the city of Temple. This is an opportunity in a commercial corridor, US 78, I know it's zoned agriculture. There is going to be a commercial use there or residential use. There will be an impact. It's a matter of what that impact will look like, and will that be a positive impact? And what will that impact do to affect people's property values, transportation, taxes, your taxes, schools, and infrastructure. This piece of property currently zoned agriculture supports what you see there now, which is nothing. It's trees. Unfortunately, agriculture and farming is something that is being greatly reduced in the state of Georgia. And elsewhere, it requires thousands of acres to be productive anymore and to compete, and this is unfortunately not going to be the case here, or the owner would be farming it right now. The owner came to me and saw the opportunity to sell the property, which they've tried to do on numerous occasions, for residential and annex it into the city of Temple. They saw the opportunity for this to be a job creator, a positive tax benefit, and also to create additional ancillary opportunities for the city of Temple. There are a lot of people here that I imagine did the same thing I did, which were sat on I-20 today trying to get here. Traffic's real. I would suggest that a lot of that traffic, simply because 70% plus of the community is currently leaving town to go to work every day, which means your tax dollars are leaving town every day. You're buying gas, you're getting food, you're getting dinner, and that money's staying in another community. This is an opportunity to capture that, for you all to have a nice place to work where you don't have to get in the traffic every day. You can be a participant in your kids' schools, you can go to their practices, you can be more involved in the community because you get to stay in the community. Those are positives. The traffic is going to occur, it's going to continue, there are going to be more and more people. Interstate 20 is over here every day, more cars, more vehicles. Temple is right off I-20, so you're going to see growth. It's inevitable. So what is that growth going to look like? That's up to everybody here. I see an excellent opportunity to control that growth, which in the city of Temple, you have that opportunity. You have the opportunity to capture jobs. You have the opportunity to make sure that it is a super high-end quality controlled environment that is a positive tax and job revenue driver. It will also increase significantly other uses, such as restaurants, places to stay, hotels. Those are all positive. Currently, this property produces $4,637 in taxes to Haralson County per year. I met with Zachary, who is the head appraiser of Haralson County, and we went over the taxes. And the tax number with this parcel, once developed, will go from $4,369.67 to $705,520, which is a significant increase. What that means is the potential for your tax bill to not continue to go up, which everybody's tax bills have gone up. That's just a fact. Inflation's real, and this is control, and this is an opportunity to balance. You need residential, you need commercial, you need jobs, we need light industrial. All these things fit together beautifully. You can't have one without the other and expect to have a healthy community. So this, to me, is an excellent opportunity to capture what is on a commercial corridor on US 78, which is a state road run by Georgia Department of Transportation, Highway 113, which is a state road run by Georgia Department of Transportation, and I-20. We are looking to have all of the roads in the project and all of the improvements necessary to adequately access the property, A-cell, D-cell lanes will bear that cost. There'll be private roads, it won't be public roads, which means that you guys will not have to maintain those roads. They won't go back to the taxpayers. As well, all of the infrastructure associated with this project, the water, the sewer, we will be paying for that. I hear people talking about we want sidewalks, we need these improvements. There's 2,500 feet of frontage. We will be putting sidewalks on there. We will be landscaping it. I'm very, very sensitive. This is my investment, much like everybody here, or you are all invested in the city of Temple. I am as well. And so I have, like you all, very, very, very high expectations for this piece of property, and I want to protect it. There are things that have already been put in place on the other piece of property through a development agreement, which were wisely discussed, wisely thought out. You also have ordinances that protect it. This is a light industrial piece of property, so there will not be smokestacks. There will not be heavy manufacturing. This is going to be very, very nice businesses. There'll be small, local companies, there'll be regional companies, and there'll be national and international companies. So I think it's good to focus on the positives. Again, something is going to happen here. I imagine people will show up and they'll have an opposition to it. We all have opposition. We're all human. That's human nature. But the positives far outweigh the negatives. And the tax burden and the jobs, those are all positives. That will allow people to stay here in the community, participate day to day in the community. And again, I am going to look after this project. Somebody asked me last time, who is ISG? That's me. I own ISG. These projects in my business, I take it incredibly personal. I want things to be high quality. The fact, and somebody may say, well, why are we rezoning another piece of property? Well, it's like anything else. You have to plan, or you get things planned for you. The businesses that go in here, I will be highly, highly selective, because what I don't want is a bad tenant in there, a bad company in there. I spend a lot of time researching the companies, going to their facilities, making sure they're clean facilities, because I don't want anybody, much like if you rented your house, you'd be highly sensitive to who was in that house. So again, just for discussion purposes, and I certainly appreciate it, and those of y'all who reached out to me and gave me the opportunity to meet with you, I'm grateful. But I see this as a positive, and I certainly look forward to addressing any questions y'all have. So with that, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else here who would like to speak in favor of this application? All right, then we'll restart the clock for 15 minutes for those who would like to speak in opposition to this application.
Hello, my name is Colt Lehman. I live in, can you hear me? My name's Colt Lehman. I live in Brookshire neighborhood, right down the street in Temple, and this actually butts up to my property. I just would ask, I'm taking a minute and 30 seconds. I know there's quite a few people that want to talk on this matter. Agricultural means it can be built on with homes, just every home has to be on a minimum 5 acres, so it can be developed in some kind of aspect. Yes, it can be chicken coops and stuff like they talked in the previous meeting. But the big concern, the water, the police department, the fire, and everything. Also, imagine if there was an industrial park literally 50 feet off your property line. I roughly have 35 signatures. Every single house in Brookshire neighborhood is opposed to it, or would actually like a bigger buffer from 50 feet to 200 feet. Imagine going out on your back porch, drinking a coffee, and you see spotlights in a big parking lot with a bunch of 18-wheelers and yard spotters in it. Another concern is obviously crime increase, foot traffic in the area as well. But just picture an industrial park in your backyard. You know, you move to Temple to get away from the busyness of Douglas County, you know, the Austell area. You come out west, you know, makes you want to look towards Alabama. I'd rather not go, but, you know, that's kind of where it's pushing me to. But that's That's it. That's all I got, and I'll let somebody else speak.
All right, thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
My name is Wilder Sanvelas, and I'm a new resident here. And
Address, please.
address near Brookshire,
Brookshire.
yeah, area. And I
Can you
second,
give me the street address on there?
yes, it's the same. It's the same.
Well, same subdivision, but what's your?
No, opposite of the subdivision.
Oh, you're doing the house?
Yes.
Okay.
I just second everything he just said. I don't really have any new things. Pretty much what he said, I second that.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, ladies and gentlemen of the council, my name is Joe Vincent, again, Brookshire Drive. I just wanted to approach this from maybe a different perspective than you guys have already heard. But I wanted to speak, and I'll be brief, but about detailed study crime rates around industrial sites. So I'm a law enforcement officer, and a big concern is the increase in crime. City of Temple is already short-staffed with their law enforcement, with their public safety, and this is going to put even more of a bind on the city to provide those services for the community and for an industrial park. So the gentleman here spoke about how jobs are going to be here in the city of Temple, but most people here in the city already have an established job, no matter where that's at. It may be Atlanta, it may be Alabama. But I would like for you to think about the people that are going to be coming from Atlanta, from Alabama, from all these different cities to the city of Temple. I know everyone here has already seen the traffic that's backed up on 113 all times of the day. That's going to be tripled with an industrial park. Your public safety is going to have to respond to that many more calls. And one way to look at this is that you can increase your police force, that you can increase your public works or whatever. But the fact of the matter is it's going to take many, many years of violent crime happening before you get the funds and the tax benefits to increase your police force, to increase all of these things that he proposed. It's not just an overnight thing. So I'll be brief, but I want to speak on the percentages of the statistics on this. So 45%, this increase in crime around industrial, 45% are violent crimes. 30% are commercial crimes, 7.6% are property crimes, drug crimes are 3%, traffic offenses are 3%, and other offenses are 32%. Like Mr. Lehman stated, there's going to be an increase in foot traffic. All around the area, you have houses that may or may not be broken into. You may have family members that are staying at houses while their husbands are at work. That could be potential. There could be a potential for them to be have a violent crime happen to them just because of this. So having worked at facilities, big, large industrial complexes as a security officer, I understand what comes with the industrial complexes. They're hiring law enforcement officers from outside agencies, which is also not going to be beneficial to the city of Temple to have to hire those officers, but they're there for a reason. They're there because the people who are there are committing crimes, and they're, so let me just give you an example of some crimes real quick. So you have theft and burglary incidents, labor-related disputes. So you have these industrial parks who a lot of times have unions, and you can't just put a union out, okay? And I'm sure the attorney here could maybe vouch for that, but there's unions are just indestructible, it seems like. Once those unions get in those buildings, you can't put those guys out. And not only that, they're going to be, whenever anything happens that they don't agree with, they're going to be striking. They're going to be out there possibly rioting. I've seen this stuff in Atlanta. I work in Atlanta. And I promise you, as you guys have driven to Atlanta, it's moving this way. Atlanta's moving into Douglas County. It's moving into Villa Rica. It's coming into Temple now, or it's being proposed to come into Temple. And with that is the rise in crime. Atlanta Police Department has one of the highest murder rates in the nation. okay? And we don't want that kind of stuff moving into their backyards, into our backyards. Vandalism of property damage, assaults, and personal safety risk, organized crime. You have gang violence that happens here. I mean, we would like to think that everybody that's going to be employed there is just an outstanding member of society, but unfortunately, that's just not the case. You are going to have those bad apples, and those bad apples are going to be in our backyards. You have crimes against women and vulnerable groups, vehicle and cargo thefts, nighttime crime statistics. Temple's going to be booming with a 24/7 industrial park. There's going to be traffic here Monday through Sunday, every day of the week, all times of the night. Your police force is not big enough to handle that. Your law enforcement agency is going to need, now they're probably already understaffed. They're probably already underpaid, and I'm not going to get into that. I don't know what they're paid, but no law enforcement officer is paid what they're deserved. But how are you going to incentivize working for Temple when you don't have the budget to already pay them what they deserve? Just something to think about. Trends over time, you have seasonal impacts, impacts on insurance. The insurance for the properties could potentially go up because there's an industrial park there. As Mr. Lehman stated, that there's an increase for potential emergencies or fires or whatever comes in the industrial park. These insurance companies are going to get wind of this, and y'all's insurance is going up. Our insurance is going up. And not only that, if you guys have looked at, and I know I'm running out of time, but if you guys have looked at Zillow on purchasing houses around here, I did when I first moved to this community. There ain't nowhere to move. There ain't nowhere for these people to go, so as far as, the work staying in the community, where are they going to live, to travel 5 miles down the road? They're coming from Atlanta. They're coming from Douglasville, and they're bringing all of that traffic here. And I'll end on this and say that it's a really good idea if they could put $700 and something thousand into your city overnight, but it just isn't going to happen. It isn't going to happen overnight, and I would like for you guys to think about what crime could happen overnight, what potential devastation to our property could happen overnight based off this industrial complex. It's going to take them, I don't know, how long, 6 months, a year to build this place? So that's a year that you're waiting for, that crime could happen. How long is it going to take to build up the police agency? That's, you take 6 months to train an officer, and then you got to pay his salary. But they probably need 5 at this point because there's going to be an increase in motor vehicular fatalities, serious injury crashes, homicides potentially, burglaries. I would encourage you guys to think about that before you make this decision. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, we've got 5:52 left on the clock. Yes, sir.
My name's Andy Black. We live at 164 Brookshire Drive, Temple, Georgia. We looked for several years before we found a place that we wanted to call home, which is, we found Temple. We moved out here. We got quite an investment in Brookshire subdivision. Now, if we put this thing in our backyards, our property values are going to go way down, and we just don't want that. There's just not room back there to put that in right on top of us. I just don't think it would be right to the people that live in there to get this. There's lots of vacant property around where there's not subdivision. Excuse me, got a sore throat. But it seems like they would pick somewhere away from the housing. And that's what I would think. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
My name is Christopher Nolan. I live in 60 Brookshire Drive. For all the stated reasons, we are against this because we live in Brookshire. This would be in our backyard. But the question that all our neighbors ask, and what I still haven't really understood or heard an answer to, is you got 40 acres on this parcel. Why would you build the facility 400 foot from the back of our house? I haven't heard that explanation. I'm sure there's a zoning and there's a reasoning behind it, but I think we deserve to hear that. And another thing, you know, the traffic is, we keep harping on the traffic. If you've lived here for a while and you know if there's a wreck on I-20, and this is already an issue, don't get me wrong, on 78, but if there's a wreck on 20, all that traffic's coming down 78. What happens if this culminates and these people are getting off work or one of these trucks gets stuck and we have an emergency in this neighborhood? How is an emergency vehicle going to get to us? Miss Etheridge is my immediate neighbor. My son has a medical condition that has caused Haralson County to have to rush to our house 3 times in the 5 years that we've lived here. What happens if they can't reach us? What's the plan here? Would any of this be worth it at that point? You know, and for me, can I stay here knowing that's a possibility? You know, so that's real concern here. But I do want to understand why we would build a facility in a 40-acre plot right beside our neighborhood. I think we at least deserve that explanation, but that's the 2 things I wanted to point out today. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else?
I'm Judy Black, and I live at 164 Brookshire Drive, and I like trees, and I love living in a small town. That doesn't probably mean a lot to big business, but I think these are beautiful pictures here, but I don't think that's what it's going to look like. And I think that it's going to be kind of hard for somebody from Atlanta to maintain all this out here and follow through with all the things that they're going to take care of and they're going to do. I think this is going to affect us big time. And it's going to change things out here. And we are concerned about the crime, and we are concerned about what it's going to bring into our neighborhood. And this is our neighborhood. This is where we live. The traffic, like, you know, sometimes it's hard to get out of the neighborhood anyway, and I'm just wondering how that's going to affect us, like others have said, about getting out of our neighborhood and onto the road. And this area where we are talking about is not I'm sorry, I can't remember exactly how it was worded, but it is not a commercial area. The majority of where we're talking about is homes. And I also understand, if I'm correct, that there is already an adjacent property that has been approved for light industrial already, and it's adjacent to this property. I believe it's in Carroll County, so why do we need to put another one right there adjacent to this with all the possibilities of what it's going to bring to us in Temple here in this area anyway? So anyway, I thank y'all all for being here tonight. Please consider us, these residents, the residents of this neighborhood, and the Temple people.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Yeah, my name's Jeff Reed, and I live at 71 Brookshire Drive. And it was brought up, why can't it be moved to a little further away instead of our backyard? Not so, me, Colton, we just put in pools. We don't want industrial parks down there looking at our daughters and kids and families and wives and all that, which that don't really matter if we put in a pool or not. The fact of the matter is, why can't it be moved? Who can answer that question for us? Why can't it be moved a little further away? Because more than likely it's coming, but why can't it be moved further over, further up, away from our backyards, pretty much? That's the biggest thing for me. Yeah, the safety, the traffic, it's a nightmare already, like he said, off of I-20. You're done, you know. I travel it every day, Villa Rica to Temple. You're done once you have a wreck on I-20. Well, imagine adding more to that. But my biggest question is, why can't it be moved a little further away than right in our backyards? If you got that much property, move it to the center of it, or either to the other side of the property where there ain't no houses. That's the question I ask.
Thank you. All right, then we will close the public hearing, and the Planning Commission will pick up this item in their December 16 meeting, and then the council will determine, make a decision at some point later on. All right.
Can I ask a question?
Yes,
Mayor?
sir, go ahead.
I'm confused as to why this public hearing came before us tonight.
Because we already had advertised and legal counsel consulted, we consulted with legal counsel and they advised that we could go forward because we're just receiving information anyway.
Okay, so when it comes up to us for a vote, is there going to be another public hearing?
Not necessarily, because we've already had this one and that opportunity has been presented already.
The council here tonight hasn't had an opportunity to voice any concerns. So when do we voice concerns?
Your floor is open now if you will to.
Well, the issue,
Carrie, can you address that?
Usually what you would do is you'd have an agenda item, separate agenda item for the vote on that question following the public hearing. And that's when you would raise concerns either in the course of making a motion or not making a motion. You have discussion like you would on any agenda item. The way it was presented to me is that you guys were still waiting on a planning commission recommendation on this issue. But could you go ahead and have the public hearing as advertised? And the answer to that is yes, you could. And so I assume the decision was made to do that. But where you would usually voice your thoughts to the council about it would be when you have that agenda item, are we gonna do this or not?
okay, my concern was we can't voice any concerns tonight because anything we say could influence the vote at the planning commission. It seems like we got the cart before the horse, and I've never seen it done like this before in the city of Temple. I've been attending meetings since, council meetings and planning commission meetings since 1990. And this is the first for me. Never seen it happen. So,
Well, there's also nothing stopping you from re-advertising and reopening a public hearing on the issue if you want to have another one. But that's just, up to you guys.
so the council would have to voice concerns at the January meeting?
Assuming it's not tabled again.
Yeah, assuming it's not tabled.
So you do have your opportunity, it's just different than what we've experienced before.
Yeah, I've never experienced it. Anyway, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions from the council? All right. Item 13, I need that copy again. All right, item 13. Request by Seth Brown with DBA Holdings LLC on a variance to encroach upon the 50-foot buffer to build a single-family residence on lot number 63, 139 West Woodland Manor in Deer Creek subdivision, parcel number T03-0070193. Is anyone here representing the application?
I'm Seth Brown with Direct Residential, representing DVA 21 Holdings. We acquired 10 lots in Deer Creek. Out of those 10, 8 were we were able to permit and build. There's 2 that were designed, developed, and platted in the early 2000s. At that time, they were workable or usable lots. Since then, I believe the city has enacted a 50 and a 75-foot buffer on top of the state's 25-foot buffer. It's basically rendered these 2 lots unbuildable. Both of them have the same exact issue. One of them, 80% of the lot is covered by the 50 and the 75-foot buffer, and the other one, 89% of the lot. So we met with the Planning Commission. They gave the okay, but short of us getting the variance, both of these lots are unbuildable and we can't do anything with them. asking for permission to encroach on those buffers.
Thank you. All right, this time we will begin the public hearing on this request. Anyone present who would like to offer comments in favor of the request, please step forward. Anyone present who would like to speak against the request for the variance? All right, seeing none, then we will close the public hearing and provide opportunity for council to make their decision.
What was the planning commission recommendation?
4-0.
Approval. I'll offer a motion to uphold the planning commission recommendation.
Second it.
All right, motion by Mr. Walden, seconded by Mr. Bracknell to agree with the planning commission recommendation to approve this variance. Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 15, request by Seth Brown of DBA Holdings, LLC, a variance to encroach upon the 50-foot buffer to build a single-family residence on lot number 69, 141 Creek Crossing Lane in Deer Creek subdivision, parcel number TO3 0070199, land lot 181, District 6. Mr. Brown, would you like to add any further comments?
Nothing more to add.
Okay, all right. Then at this time, we will begin the public hearing on this matter. If you're present from the public, you'd like to offer comments in favor of what has been requested, then come forward, please. If there's anyone here who'd like to speak against the application, come forward. All right, seeing none, then we will close the public hearing and an opportunity for council to make a motion.
Planning commission recommendation was to approve. Okay. I will offer a motion to approve it.
Second it.
Motion by Mr. Walden, seconded by Mr. Bracknell. Any discussion? All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same sign. Motion carries 5-0. And that will bring us to item 17, receive request for proposal bids for the Recreation and Senior Center's main parking lot with consideration of bid award. Ms. McKinley.
In your books, you guys should have the 3 quotes that were given, that I received. I don't want to hold it. Okay. The first quote was from RP Paving Solutions in the amount of $102,000. Let me get my numbers right. Yeah, $105,194. However, they were not present at the mandatory pre-proposal meeting, and so they didn't complete all the qualifications to submit a bid, to submit a proposal. The second is Helix Grading and Utility. Their bid came in at $232,000. And as you can see from the proposal on the project, that there's not a lot of information. I really sense that we would be in a bind and would be caught up in some change orders. We don't have anything itemized that's really needed according to the RFP as it was put out. And lastly, we have H&H Paving and Concrete, and their bid came in on page 2. You should see the price of $191,943. Right below it, you see striping and new signs and posts, which were also in the original RFP. Those are additional costs on top of the $191,943. But if you continue to review the proposal, it has I love how they've itemized and have the different prices out to show us what we would need to do, et cetera, et cetera. However, the capital budget for this project was $110,000. So you can see how far over we are with the two that we could accept. So my recommendation is to put it back out to bid, and see if we can pull from a bigger pool.
Any questions for Ms. McKinley or comments?
Like that's what we should do.
Looks like that's what we
Yes, sir.
need to do. Thank you.
We need to vote on that?
I don't
Or
think
no?
so.
No, just put it back, yeah, put it back out.
I don't think we voted on these, what we've got in our hands either.
We voted to issue the
Yeah,
RFP
that's all.
before, yeah.
All right, that completes our agenda. Next, closing comments. Ms. Miller?
No, thank you.
Ms. Bowles?
No, thanks.
Mr. Brightnell?
No, sir.
Mr. Walden?
Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving, and I'm looking forward to the parade on this Thursday, right?
Yes, sir. Mr. Russell?
No comment.
All right, then, no executive session is needed, so,
I asked for just a brief executive session.
yes, sir. All right. Brief executive session requested by Mr. Attorney. So I need a motion to go into executive session.
Make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, the same sign. No action will follow the executive session, and we'll come back in and adjourn. Now, turn your mics off, please.
I told her that I would like to be nominated for a Grammy. Yeah. I'll be on that list. I was super excited about that. There's a difference between district and state. The state was just a big deal. And it's a big deal. Who all in our district? We're in District 4, so it's just like Carroll County. It goes up Corbin County, Spalding.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just how we're zoned.
How many different districts are there?
no effect.
I said that same thought.
Yeah. That's exactly what